Click. I'd like you guys to talk me through a little bit of what you're doing with your CAS program currently. What have been some of the major achievements? What you're currently doing with your CAS. So who wants to start?
Well, I've finished so far House Plays, which was something that I really enjoyed. House Plays I haven't been involved in for a couple of years. I did it in year 7 and 8, but I had had a little break from it. And that wasn't because I wasn't interested, it's just I wasn't going to be able to commit to the rehearsals and the performance night because of going away or not being able to get there because of work or something like that. So it was nice to get back involved.
Sure. So you finished that off now?
Yeah, that's completed.
All right. And you've got a supervisor's report?
Yes. This past week.
We just need to click that off as completed.
Yeah.
So if you can do that, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. So I know you've got a whole range of things, and we could be talking for ages here. I'm happy with how all of that is going.
Yeah. No, it was good being like a year 11 member.
Okay. So I can see you've also got Biomunga Central Desert. That needs to be completed as well, doesn't it?
Well, the Central Desert component of it is completed because we've done the trip, which was amazing. But with the Biomunga part, I'm still going. And I guess it's not service, but it is a bit of creativity, what we do. And it's kind of...
So it's kind of like your project is part of... It's like, to me, my looking at it, your project has become bigger than actually attending Biomunga Mob. Yeah. So I think you could close off on that. Really? You could be attending Biomunga Mob as part of your project and put it under that umbrella. Just so it keeps nice tidy packages of the sorts of things that you are doing, and I'd include your attendance in that as part of that. Okay. And I'll still maintain a sign off for those for both of you on those sorts of things. Otherwise, I think we're in a place where you're kind of duplicating all this stuff. And you've got reflections for Biomunga Mob, reflections for your project, and I see your project as a big thing, unless that's a problem. But you're kind of doing the creativity and service in both of those. Yeah.
And then with Pilates, I'm still going with that because I'd done it for a term, but I've signed up again because I really liked it. So I'm going to do that for longer. And with the gym, I was really consistent with it, went almost every week.
Yes.
But now it's kind of become a bit more spacious. I've gone a lot recently, like I went twice last week, but then the week before that, I didn't go, and the week before that, I didn't go. Yeah. So it's kind of a little bit spacious now.
And that's fine. You don't have to go every week.
Okay.
Like if you think action 50 hours over 3 terms, if that's kind of the measure, you know, you don't. It doesn't have to be a weekly obsession. You know, the fact that you're doing it and you're doing it regularly, you may want to think of, well, which one am I going to do more regularly, Pilates or gym?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think or combine them into one action program together. Like that's probably a little bit broad, but you know, or just do one or the other that you document for your CAS.
Yeah. Well, I could just sign off with gym because I got these passes for one gym, Anytime Fitness, and I've completed 10. I've got another one that I need to fill out, but I've been going to a different gym now, and I've just been paying as I go because it's closer, and I've been able to get a lift there. So either I just count the passes, and then that's easy. I can get those.
You do need someone, to sign off.
So should I just do that and delete the ones that I've recorded from the next?
You don't have to delete, but
you don't delete them.
Up to you. Like if the reflection's there, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
All right. What about Night Patrol? That's finished.
I think so. Well, I wanted to upload a picture of us creating the sanitary box.
I think I might have. If I signed.
You did sign it off, but you reopened it for me to write another.
All right. Okay. So if you do that and just do that sort of thing, one of the things for both of you, kind of you do really detailed reflections, and that's fantastic. But they tend to be a bit wordy and descriptive. And I really want you to actually use the language of outcomes, saying this is why it was a challenge. This is why I showed initiative. This is how I showed commitment. Really, that's what we kind of need to look for. So just put it in those terms, you know. I love reading your long reflections. Actually, some of the best stuff. It's wonderful, okay? And that's really good. But that's kind of just an efficiency. I think that's quite important. And I can see you've uploaded your reflections for live drawing and your final thing.
That's completed.
Okay, that's good. I think there's a way of putting those documents into the actual activity as a reflection, but that's fine. Whether you store them, I think we're still feeling our way a little bit, but I think that's great. We'll come back to your project in a sec.
Yeah, sure.
Are there any, you look like you're achieving the outcomes effectively across the board, so just make sure that's reflected in what you're writing and stuff like that too. Your program is great.
Okay, great.
All right?
So is there anything I need to pick up for the holidays, or just kind of
You just need that balance of. So you've got okay. A key question for both of you: how is through Indigenous Eyes service?
It'll be because it's raising awareness, and that'll come in when we show it as assemblies.
Who benefits from it? You're making the movie. You'll be the stars in the production of the movie. Who is it actually benefiting, do you think? Like, this is a hard question for you. Like, I can see our night patrol is service, but I can see a lot of creativity at this stage. How, as an ongoing process, do you think it actually represents service? Chiara, I might throw to you on that. Because we need to vary the staging of this little show.
Well, if we show around to different schools and like assemblies and all that sort of stuff, then I hope that the people we show it to kind of realize like what the actual video is about and how like Indigenous culture, like the maintenance needs to be kept and all that.
And how long before you think you're ready to start the actual screenings?
Yeah, sure.
Next year's a long time. Which time next year?
Probably we're hoping like first.
Yeah, we're going to try and get the filming done as soon as we can.
Right.
But hopefully also the people in the video will benefit from it, because I think the boys that we've interviewed already from the college, I mean, they were very excited, and they've sent off the questions to community and things like that. It's been something that they've really enjoyed, and that's why we're going back.
Okay.
So I think that they're already kind of benefiting from talking about it and being able to share. I think that that's something that they've been really enjoying from it. And I just think it'll be good to get kind of a young perspective of Indigenous culture and the position of Indigenous culture at the moment, and then showing that to people and showing that young people are interested and that it is important is encouraging for everyone, and it's kind of a bit of...
All right, I share your vision, but I see the services coming a fair way down the track. So what's been, since for you Night Patrol's finished and Central Desert's finished, there seems to be a little bit of gap of service.
Yeah, so I mean, for service. Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, I can pick something up if that's necessary. Right. I mean, I think Night Patrol's only finished recently, and then I didn't realise that, I guess Central Desert's also finished as well. So. Okay,
let's look at that. We'll see whether we can maintain the project as part of your service thing. We'll maybe talk about what options there are for amping up the service element of it now-ish.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. And it complements that.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm happy with that. We might have to brainstorm that a little bit down the track.
Sure.
Chiara, some updates on how so just one thing. Your supervisory report for Central Desert you need to complete. Pilates, again, your reflections need to link to the outcomes, which is some summary points I'll make from looking at yours. Yeah.
Okay, so I've done a lot of activities, finished lots of them as well. Finished house place as well, which was a really rewarding experience.
It is great, isn't it?
Yeah, it was great because I was one of the two the coordinators for my house, so it was very challenging, but it was so rewarding when it was finished. I've also did Monty Netball for a season and 2 touch football seasons now. So my action's been going pretty well.
And you've got your completion form for touch, which is great.
Yes, I still haven't uploaded the supervisor form.
Yes, you do. CAS completion form, is that?
And
that's just the PDFs.
They save them and then not complete.
Yeah, and then that's where you get downloaded from, and then you upload them. So that's like not completed.
That's a not completed one.
That's just the PDF that they give you where you print it off and then you sign it.
Oh,
so I've got it completed. Oh.
That's fine.
So
I'm accepting that.
Oh, really?
If it's an online one like that, it can only be online if it's come from them.
Oh.
So that's fine.
I didn't get that. Okay, right.
I believe that's the case. Right.
Yeah. So yeah, my action is perfectly fine. Then peer tutoring was my service. I've kind of had a little break from that because this term was a bit hectic and all of that. Yes. So I am thinking of picking that up again because I haven't had a service for about a month or so now.
Yes.
So I will probably continue with that.
Okay. Who's that with?
She's a girl in year 9, Georgia O'Brien, and I was with her last year as well, so it's been an ongoing thing.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, Rec Bay's obviously finished. I have to close that off.
Okay.
And Biomanga, as you said, I'll merge that with our CAS project, so as to make it easier.
Look, that's unless you want to see Keep Biomunga separate as an autonomous service things, but there has to be some service that you're doing with Biomunga other than just hanging out at the meetings.
Which isn't often. We don't have many events often.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Look, there's a wonderful array of activities that you've got there. It's rich. You guys have both got a lot of things on, and I just want to make sure you're not quite too much happening that it becomes a massive burden for you.
No.
Okay.
I think I got a bit stressed last term, but I'm good now. I got into the routine of it. So.
Okay. Oh, that's fantastic. Your lowest outcome achievement level is for global value. So I think you need to sort of see through Indigenous eyes as having that global value and sort of direct what you're doing to kind of your awareness and your work in that area. Okay. So you just need to get some supervisors' reports, maybe a bit less descriptive in journal again, and more work in the language outcomes. So in terms of but for both of you, your future CAS, do you see any changes? Like, I'm happy with what you've got. You do have you've worked an array of activities already. There's probably room for maybe one or two new ones, but you know, there's a diversity in what you're doing. What do you see for your CAS through the holidays, through 2014?
I feel like we'll be focusing on the project a lot.
Yeah.
All the filming's already started, but we're really going to push getting our interviews done as early as we can, so then we can start the big creative process with all the movie editing and things like that.
It'll take a while.
Do you have any help with that?
We're gonna research it, and we're probably going to talk to Apple. They do those tutorials and things like that we'll probably try and go to.
Is there anyone at school that can help you?
Sure. I mean, our assistant, Miss Watson, would probably have some good things to say that would benefit them.
And they may know people on staff who have expertise in it and that sort of thing. Yeah.
And so basically,
because one of the things you're dealing with is it's a lot of talking heads.
Yeah.
You know, and talking heads, as lovely as we are right now, can be beautiful, but it can be boring too.
Yeah.
So in terms of if you want a movie,
engaging.
what can you weave into the visuals, even over voice? You know, a contrasting image to the voice that would make that work, and that might be stills from Central Desert Program, Wreck Bay, that you kind of mix in with that sort of thing. I'm not really sure, but I think that's just something to be aware of.
Yeah.
If you want people to be engaged and listening to it, you need to do that. You probably also need to look at, all right, what's going to be the venue for watching these in schools? Is it going to be at a school assembly? Does it just have to be, like, can it be an hour? Because not many schools have an hour assembly and can afford giving it over to one thing. Does it have to fit in?
I think it's going to be shorter than that.
Okay.
We're going to, I reckon probably 15 minutes max.
Right.
I think, because if we're focusing it on the younger generation, I mean, no one's going to stay engaged for an hour.
Right.
So I think it's better if it has an effective message that's put across the best words possible. I mean, we've got great footage, and a lot of people would want to. I mean, we'd love to use all of it, what the boys have been saying so far. But we're going to interview a lot of older people as well.
Okay.
So
maybe it's worth looking at the option then of having a kind of promo 15-minute one and a longer one that people can access if they want to sort of watch it in another social context.
Yeah,
where you can actually, all right, if you're really interested in this, we're going to have a screening of it and we're going to have a discussion afterwards. I think that's going to, rather than just like, oh yeah, it's kind of like almost like an ad for a feel-good thing or a feel whatever thing.
Yeah.
You know, you probably, I would ask you to embrace something that's a little bit more probing, a little bit more in depth, you know?
Yeah.
Rather than just, plus if you've got a lot of good footage, you want a vehicle for people's voice to be heard.
Definitely.
Because if you're a strong editor on that, that's good, but it's the director's vision and it's about listening to the voice of the people too.
Also, I think we kind of thought about putting it on YouTube as a resource.
Fantastic.
And then kind of putting it on Facebook maybe as something that people can access it. I think
Well, let's have a look at that.
Maybe even on Want to Connect.
Look, most certainly in terms of, well, if this is something that's got Chiara, you put on YouTube and you lose control of it. Okay? So you might want to manage how it's used. So don't jump ahead and do that. Let's just talk through
Discuss
those sorts of things. Your vision of the project, where it's going.
Oh, well, so far, like it's been amazing. Like especially like the other week when we interviewed boys, it was great to kind of hear their
Boys
perspective.
from Joey's.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's great to hear their perspective on things because like I don't get ever really had a proper chat about their culture with anyone our age.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really it was really interesting because they were really involved and really keen to tell us, which I found not surprising, but I don't know. It was they were really open, which was great because we were scared that maybe they weren't gonna answer our questions or like they didn't want to or were uncomfortable.
Yes.
But they were completely at ease, and so if like other people are like that when we interview them, then I think it's gonna be great, and hopefully it will.
I mean, even the boys contacted us after and said, next time you come, you can go deeper if you want and all this stuff. They said that to us. So, I mean, we were really happy with what they had to say. That they were really happy they were coming back because they said that they didn't think that they did the questions justice.
Okay, that's amazing.
So we thought they did excellently, but
Okay.
if they've got more to offer, then
And then it's that quality that people want, the quality of story.
and
You
it's
know,
genuine.
Honesty, yeah.
Genuine.
It was just so genuine as well.
Okay. Are there any ethical things in terms of whether the boys or any of your interviews say anything that's going to be maybe show their community or their school in a bad light? Or will there be?
There were some things that are sensitive that they have said, but I think we'll be very careful when we're editing through and seeing. And the schools asked to be anonymous, so we made sure that that's going to
say the names.
Okay, well, that covers that. That's good. All right.
And all the permission forms and all that, we did the whole process and then we got them all back. So.
Yeah, so let's just be aware of that and have a look at that when you're getting towards that final cut or even before. Then maybe having someone like Auntie Julie look at it so that they can have a sense of, well, okay, from a community point of view, it might be anonymous, but if some boy from the community says something, all of a sudden, that could have impacts that you or I don't realise.
Yeah.
We might also look at getting. We haven't had an interview with Uncle Max yet.
No, we haven't. We will start to organise that. I mean, I think we've been kind of focusing on college at the moment, and once that door's closed, then we can
focus on other people outside.
All right. Well, if you want to have a crack at doing any of that, say in the holidays,
I think holidays.
I'm happy to say for Uncle Max.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to get to take you over there, and we do a day over at his place.
Okay.
Save him running around.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Fantastic, guys. Well, look, congratulations on your CAS.
Thank you.
Very proud of you. Very pleased with what you do. You are the gold CAS girls.
Excellent.
Can't,
That's good.